Anyway, this here would act as our magnet, so I'll just go ahead and put that on there. Okay. And I don't know, this is very, very similar. If you've been watching the streams for a while, just been watching live price, you're going to be saying the same thing and say, oh, well, this looks very, very similar to me because I just keep seeing this 830 opening being drawn to. Yes. And then the same exact thing I was outlining with non-farm payroll. Okay, not only is this a wick high, which automatically signals, traders are short, put their stop loss above this high, so that's already a liquidity pool in and of itself. But it also comes down to it being a time-based liquidity pool because right at the manipulation news release, that's the wick high that it creates. So that's known as our data high, right? And then now we're trading back down into this specific up close candle here. This will be a breaker. All right. And notice how I'm just studying price right now. I'm not entry orientated because, we're still just before that macro. All right. All right, guys. So just to give you context, so I showed you guys the stats on my side funded account. So that's what I actually have pulled out here today just because I want to keep rising the equity in that so I can, at minimum, request another $2,500 payout. I'm really wondering if I should just, take like 1 to 2 more trades and then just do that, or if I should just keep it riding for a little bit. I'm not sure, but I'll update you guys. But anyway, working on the heels of this breaker here. You can see that we wicked down to it twice, trading away. It's one thing to study price, but it's another thing to identify an environment where you want to take a trade, that you're confident in. And I just simply right now, I don't see anything I would really be willing to engage with any great deal of high probability. So in that case, I would obviously just stick to the sidelines here. So notice how it's leaving all these gaps open right here and here. That's to be expected. You guys probably already know what I'm going to say because I say it in almost every single stream. Once we drop down here, create sell side of the curve, come the whole way back up, buy side of the curve. That's our displacement leg. From this high down to this low, that is technically a balanced price range. So any fair value gap within here is liable to not be filled. Okay. And there it is. So I think we just touched 830 opening. Yep. If I'm not mistaken. Beautiful. So yes, not quite there yet. But, like I said, I'd want to see it continue until we reach the buy side liquidity up here. Alrighty, so 6 more minutes here. That's what we're waiting for. So similar to how we were waiting for that macro, okay, with that breaker. Same exact thing. We're just waiting for that 930 opening, and then we'll be looking to, frame something out of the marketplace, okay? So that's pretty much it. This offset, basically, just understand that there's a good deal of sell stops resting below here on a short-term basis. Okay. Many guys on social media giving examples of them making real money. You can do it too, okay? They're just regular men. You can do the same exact thing. You just have to show up every single day, seek wisdom and knowledge through the streams. So, just as I would prefer, all right, so 1 minute prior to 930 opening, honestly, I would have expected the 930 to do this, but we're trading back down into the fair value gap, so we're reclaiming this gap, okay, and then we're sweeping the short-term low. So whenever I see that, that is the perfect example of us offsetting, those who have been buying. So majority of those have been profitable coming into 930, okay. We see them being taken out here with their stop losses, assuming and knowing, we don't know how many stop losses, we don't know, but we know that there's a lot trailed below this low, okay. Anytime we create a new low, automatically stop losses get jammed below there, okay. So whether someone's buying in here, jamming their stop below there on a real tight basis, or they've been, buying down here, wherever, and then ultimately the stops get jammed below here in profit and they're getting taken out, okay. So nothing really looks promising. Yeah, so we see ES. Remember what I told you guys about the range, so let's just go ahead and do it again just on ES because ES is clearly the front runner here. So if we take the high to the low, we see that we just touched midpoint. That in and of itself is a bearish signature. Okay, so the fact that we ran down to midpoint of the range that is balanced from high to low, okay, that's a bearish signature in and of itself. Okay, do I need to pull that out to see that? No, we can clearly see that we're displacing deeply. Okay, we have a breakaway gap here, and really disregarding and not showing willingness to find support at this time-based imbalance here. So what I do is start looking at the data low, okay, because data high has been ran. We ran previous daily high right here, okay, and then you see the deep displacement and changes day delivery below these two up close candles. Man, honestly, if you guys like just think back or look back to the streams that we had from now until Monday, like you can do the math yourself. Just imagine if I didn't have the experience, I didn't have the knowledge to be able to understand what to trade and what not to trade. Imagine how, like, just remember how many fake setups performed Monday and Tuesday and then today. And just imagine how much money I would have lost if I, had an ego and would want to force those ideas just for trading's sake, rather than, actually sticking to my models and waiting for them to perform. And that's just kind of what I preach about, guys that know the concepts, they know it well, they know what they're looking for, they know what they're doing, they've been here for some time, and those are the days where they blow their equity, and that's where their unprofitability is born. They're always in the setups that everyone else is in, the obvious ones, like, for instance, non-farm payroll. But then we hit days like yesterday and Monday, and all of a sudden, they're giving back their profits instantly because, they just need to do something every day. They need to trade every day. They need to be a part of everything. And you guys know the rest of that spiel. But myself and the viewers watching me, we will not be a part of that. And so yeah, obviously, typically this is not the liquidity run that you would want, okay? This is what we just deem as high resistance. So every time it trades down, comes back up, trades down, comes back up, and then boom, there's a sell side ran. And then we look at NASDAQ, and, it trades down, 930, comes back up, trades down, up, it's just kind of like a roller coaster ride. So we now have ES engaging time-based liquidity. The next thing I'll be looking at is, obviously we take this here will be our weekly dealing range. So from the low that was created on Friday, to now the high that ran previous daily high, that's key. We have equilibrium here, and I'd expect this thing to continue into a discount. So what I'll do here is I'd map out this low and expect continuation until we reach this low. All right, so these lows being engaged here. And then as for ES, same exact thing. Okay, new week opening gap. GK, you're not taking a trade, man. It's killing me. Come on. Take a trade. I need it. Come on. Listen. Subconsciously, you guys don't even know it, but listen. Just sitting through these streams and following along with me, I am literally training your mind to switch from being fueled by excitement to looking for real sound logic in a trade. That is the shit that is going to lead you to long-term profitability. I'm not talking about one singular day here and being a part of one singular successful setup. I'm talking about long-term. This is the type of shit that gains mental fortitude. This is the type of shit that sharpens your psychology. This is the type of stuff that brings you the next step closer to profitability and allows you to have that mind that can really just hone in on that complete focus of finding the highest probability setups and engaging with that, and over time that will pile up into a lot of money for you. Okay, no one ever said it's going to be easy. It's going to come with a cost, and if you go the route that most people do, well, most people are not profitable. So guess what? If you go their route, well, you're going to get the same result. But if you take another approach to it, and I believe my approach is very, very effective. And it doesn't matter if I believe it. I mean, the results speak for themselves. But so I wasn't expecting it, but we might be going the route of scalping to the upside to attack those who have been making money. So a lot of times you see me engaging with that setup and, speak more on that in the mentorship chat just to like have it cemented, because you guys see me trade that on several occasions on live streams, but I never really just sat down and made a video about it. So definitely going to be doing that going forward. So as I explained to you guys here, heading into 2 more minutes into the macro, like I said, there's going to be trail buy stops above here and here. And then obviously we have several inefficiencies to note to the upside, particularly on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so here here and here. So that's pretty much what I'll be looking at right now that we traded down into a discount. Okay, understanding that these markets move from a discount to a premium to a discount on a basis of time. That's the idea that I would come up with. So whether that performs or not, we will find out. But if it doesn't, you know, I never had any problem with sitting on the sidelines, and you guys know that. So perfect world, what the market would do for me here is keep these lows intact, and then from there, spike below those lows, touch, and drop into new week opening gap, and then we'll get some type of change this day delivery. Okay, like this. And then somewhere within this initial price leg, I'll be able to enter long right within here. And then I'll be holding on for right up here. Okay. So like I said, if it drops down to the fair value gap, that would be a high probability entry point in my eyes. And I would go ahead and take that. And I'm going to aim for, you know, assuming that the short-term buy side would not be engaged yet. And then this black line right here, that would be the target. Okay, so go ahead and buy that. Okay, stop loss remains below the fair value gap. And then take profit simply going to be right at the midpoint of that 15-minute inefficiency. So 5-handle stop loss, risk is minimal. And stop loss has to remain below that candle there. So let's let this one play out. Let's take a look at NASDAQ here. Okay, same thing for value gap. We had yet to engage that buy side liquidity. Now, if this thing slips lower and trades this for value gap, which obviously I am not anticipating, I could look at some type of continuation for the 15-minute gap, but I would have to see a few more subtle signatures rather than just trading through this breaker here. But anyway, we have short-term buy stops resting above here. We have the midpoint of the inefficiency, which now that I'm thinking about it, let me see here. Low to the midpoint. Okay, so I think, let me double check here so I'm not just saying something. 4975. So this would offer me about 13 handles. So honestly, the 25% would be enough for me. So that's all I would need, to be honest. So I don't even need midpoint here. I'm understanding that this is the terminus for this idea here. But all I would really need is 25%. And that's also within this rather large 1-minute gap here. So that would be enough for me, in short. Now, once the short-term buy side, if it's once it slams above the buy side liquidity here, what I would do is simply just go ahead and put my stop loss, trail it right here to break even. Okay. And as you guys can see here, it's the only trade for today. All right. Okay. And then if you're trading NASDAQ, I would simply just get covered right at this high here. All right. Now, obviously, I could have sat here and said I wish I would have bought at the order block, but that's just was a little bit aggressive for like how the tone was set here today in terms of, you know, how we were moving and what I sat through. So I just really wanted this market to really just show me what it wants to do on the silver platter instead of just, you know, trying to get in at the earliest point. And then another depiction of what we're really showing here is, remember, it's the same, it literally repeats, like I can't tell you how many times in any given session. We trade up, relatively match this high, trade off, and as it does that, we're buying, anticipating that this is just more engineered buy side liquidity. So once it pierces above there, we would just be trading on the idea of, you know, retail seeing this as resistance, putting their stops above there as it trades down, and then slams up and takes them out. So we just traded above short-term buy side. So in this case, I would trail my stop to break even. And now we're just going to wait for 25% of that inefficiency to be engaged. Okay, so about $500 in profit. We now have risk removed entirely. And unless NASDAQ reaches this high here, I'm just still hold on to this thing. So anticipating NASDAQ to slam up into here and ES to reach 25% of that premium inefficiency on the 15-minute time frame. So essentially this will be 29, 13.5 handle trade, okay? So as stated, risk is completely and entirely removed, and we're just waiting for full TP to be hit. Brian, you really just came in, man. Come on, you're taking the easy route. You're out of here for 3 hours. Now you just pop in when we take our trade. Ah, shit, dude. I was pulling my hair out for 3 hours, silently. But listen, this is just what happens when you have the patience and you know what your model looks like and you wait for it. Okay. Even if this trade didn't pan out, like it's still the same exact notion. Like you wait for your model. Okay, it performed. You take it. Win or lose, like you finally found your model and price, and you understand it's just yet another day proving that whatever your model is repeats, right? So yeah, NASDAQ still didn't take the high yet, so I'm still holding on. So if NASDAQ took the high, I would start considering closing the trade, but NASDAQ still didn't take the high. So like if I was trading NASDAQ right now, my take profit would be just resting right above here. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Brian trading ES? That's new. So honestly, I would expect this for value gap to hold, so I'm going to move my stop to, in profit. Yeah, ES, I don't know. The ES looks a little bit cleaner than NASDAQ, to be honest. I agree. Beautiful, Daniel. All right, looks like Daniel already took his $600. Beautiful. Good to see you, Daniel. Good to see, good to see you taking that. Quintamilius, nice, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's see if we can reach that 25%. Like I said, I don't need, Terminus is 50%, but I don't need that. I'm just going for the lower quadrant, and that's it, okay? And on the side account, this trade would make me eligible to do that $2,500 payout that I told you guys that I was looking to take. So, am I gonna do that? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna let it ride, just a couple more thousands, and then I'll look to do so. But anyway, we're about a tick away from take profit. Just missed it by a little bit. All right, so it looks like NASDAQ took buy side. Wow, look how close it was to our take profit. This happens more times than it should. Right here. Just imagine if that was my stop loss. They would have went straight through that motherfucker, wouldn't it? Yes, sir. And Daniel, enjoy the rest of your day, brother. I'll be seeing you. All right. Well, NASDAQ engaged the buy side and into the fair value gap I was anticipating us to trade into. ES missed my take profit by a quarter tick and trades away from it. So let's see if this fair value gap will hold. So take profit is about 2 handles in, obviously in profit. So whoa, Alex, beautiful. $820, perfect. Good to hear, guys. Good to hear. But I don't know. The fact of the matter is, like, I could have tried to force something in here and maybe profited to the downside with how much we're moving. But when it comes down to it, it just simply just did not fit the criteria for my 3 models. And, you know, you wait 3 hours and then it finally performs. Even if it didn't perform, I still view that as a solid day because we followed the plan and we just simply, like, that's it. You're just patient. And, like, whether it didn't perform today, well, guess what? We just go to the PM session. Does it perform? No? Okay, well, guess what? We're preserving capital. It did perform? Okay, well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and take that. If it didn't come to the PM session, guess what? We're coming in tomorrow. Listen, you don't need every single session or every, like, whatever given day to be profitable. Okay, all it takes is one little day. Okay, coupled with obviously you conducting yourself well in price action that is subpar, right? So obviously it's a little frustrating. It didn't just spike straight to my take profit. Instead, it just hangs around a quarter tick below it, but it is what it is. We'll wait for it. So we just trade down to that first fair value gap there, midpoint of that wick there. If we lose the wick low, then I'm just going to go ahead and close the trade and just accept that it missed my take profit by a quarter tick. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Wow, that is actually insanity. You wait 3 hours and then the market hits you with some bullshit. I mean, either way, it's still, it's still a successful trade nonetheless, but got my finger on the trigger here, ready to take profits. Okay. Gonna have to take the $300 there, guys. Boom. So I think that is attack the opposing end for those who have been making money. Okay, that's one of 3 models. And we take profit there. And it's a profitable day, and we leave it at that. So you leave making money out of a session, and you're automatically placed in the 1%. I always say that because it's very, very true. All right, guys, so going off what we were just doing in stream, my main terminus with the entry that I took with you guys, where we profited nicely with the long position here, found a re-entry here with the mitigation block, and risk is still the same in regards to the one contract, and full take profit is going right up to that 50%. So this market not showing me a willingness to go lower and displaces once more. And then we had this specific up close candle that I'm utilizing, and I had to do it. I know I ended the stream, but this was just way too in my face and way too clean for me not to engage with it. So we're buying the mitigation block, and then we're aiming for the midpoint of that 15-minute imbalance that I showed you guys. Okay. Okay, risk gets significantly decreased, so relatively break even. So essentially risking not really anything on this trade, and similar to the live stream earlier, we're about a tick below the take profit. Now the question here is it going to spike straight below or straight through my take profit, or will it do what it did earlier, get straight to it, trade off, and then I have to take lesser profits? Be safe. Alright guys, so I wasn't going to show this transaction, but I thought I'd throw it in here just for precision's sake. So along with that long I took on ES, I actually took the same exact long on the NASDAQ micros here. So what I'm going to do is aggressively trail my stop loss up. And once I pop on the executions here, you are going to find that I took a partial at a very reasonable price point, most specifically the midpoint of this 1 minute gap here. Okay, and we shall see what happens here. So one of two things are happening here. I will be put in 73 handles of profit here with the stop loss getting hit in profit, or it'll actually slam up to full terminus here. Okay, so basically what I'm looking at is this trend line sensation going on here. Very inefficient. The members and I sat through this for about 3 hours, and basically just looking for this to be offset, which technically has taken place. So we actually ran above this high here. Okay, but more specifically, I'd like to see the whole thing be offset. All right, so waiting on that, and the rest will be history. So really, you're looking at this, and I would anticipate this to remain open. You're probably saying, well, you're opening yourself up to the risk of it retracing into this fair value gap. Well, in this case, understanding we have both sides of the curve efficiently delivered in the form of sell side and buy side, this here is a balanced price range. So I wouldn't really want to see it trade into that, especially since we have this first one right here. So, whether I'm right or wrong about this or not, the outcome remains profitable. So as I mentioned, we have this 5-minute gap. Expecting this one to hold and propel us up into what would be our terminus here. All right, there it is. There is my 74 handle trade depicted here. So we cut costs by moving our stop loss up, and that just inevitably got tagged. So that is it.